Alright, and I guess we're live. We got a special game for you tonight. It's going to be Brazil going against Argentina. Now, both of these sides making their debuts. Of course, two South American nations, two big ones to be exact as well, as Vasconcelos gets the kickoff to Hernandez, who's going to make it to the 31. I'm honestly kind of excited to see this one, but it's also nighttime as I'm recording this, so I'm going to try to keep it down for the sake of not only myself, but also any people around me. And Torres is going to get that rush to the 3-yard line. If anything, I will say both of these teams fairly average in rating. I'm not really sure who's going to really get their pick of the pie here. But I do see, I do think both sides look fairly decent, and it should be either a low-scoring game or it's going to be an offensive-packed one. As Torres gets the reception, but he's not going to be there in time to get enough. It'll be 4th and inches, and Argentina is going to send the punt team out early tonight. Alvarez to punt. And it's going to be, actually, it's still going to be picked up by LaRock. And he's only going to get to the 6 that time. I think he was looking for the touchback, but he didn't get the trickle he wanted. And Brazil's going to take control from their 6. Guadrado finds Costa. And he's going to get a 9-yard reception on that one. And this Brazilian side, it'll be interesting to see how they focus up as Carbone. Carbone? I don't know. It depends on how you pronounce it, but he gets the first down and more. I think I'll go with Carbone. His first reception is a pretty big one, and pressure for Guadrado, and it's going to go over his receiver. Had a bit of traffic and 2 DBs on him, but luckily, it will miss everybody on that one. Carbone gets a pretty good run there, gain of 8, but it's a 3rd and 2 situation now. Brazil's going to need to punch it in. Carbone stopped in the backfield, this time by Zito. And Argentina is going to force Brazil to punt on their first drive. Rodrigo to punt. And it's going to be returned by Paez. And he'll get to the 21, Argentina. Not exactly the best field position, but it's no better than a touchback. Vasquez. He's going to go to the side, doesn't see anyone. It'll be 2nd and 10. I feel like this game is going to set a bit of a precedent for some of the American teams, and I mean American as both North and South American. Torres gets a gain of 4 with that rush. And Argentina finds themselves in another 3rd down situation. Blitz coming. Lateral pass is going to get nowhere. As Switzer tackles Torres in the backfield, Argentina's going to have to punt this time too. Alvarez. This time LaRock actually has to take it, as he will get past the 40. No, he's actually going to be stopped at the 40. Some pretty good defense from Brazil leads to an offensive opportunity, but nothing doing there as they're going to get tackled in the backfield. Sosa with the TFL. And it's going to come off a receiver's helmet. So now a 3rd and technically long situation for Brazil here. Not what they wanted, to be exact. As for Argentina's defense, this is perfect. Cuadrado finds Samoa as he's open, but he's not going to get enough. And Brazil's going to be forced to punt yet again. Rodrigo, it's going to be a deep punt, going to be a touchback. So far, both sides managed to get a little bit of momentum, but then it falls apart quickly and the defense takes over. Vasquez in traffic, nothing doing. Vasquez is having a rough start so far. Torres, he's not going anywhere, as Giroud is going to make sure there's no gain. And Argentina's offense still struggling so far. Pressure coming, Vasquez has to get rid of it. And Argentina is going to be held to their own 20 that entire drive. It's Rock again. He's not going to get to the 40. He's going to get to the 39. That's still good field position for Brazil. Hopefully they can get something working here. The defense has definitely shown that, well, despite Argentina's offensive struggles, they have also been putting their foot on the gas as a deep ball finds no one. And it's still 2nd and 10 for Brazil. Cuadrado, though, he has been making up numbers. As not great as they've been, they are better than the opposing side. Now we got a 3rd and 7 for Brazil. Carbone tries to sneak by. He's going to get tackled. And Brazil's going to be forced to another 4th and out. Rodrigo on the punt. It's going to be pretty deep. And it will trickle in for the touchback. But so far, still been back and forth. But neither side really breaking the plane. Any plane, to be exact. Both offensives seem to be struggling. And both defenses, well, they're doing their job just enough. Neely gets the reception. Only going to get 2 yards on that one. And Torres, he'll get an extra 3 yards. He'll force a 3rd and 5 situation. So far, both sides have been 0 for 3 on 3rd downs. Vasquez, he's going to drop that one. And it will be another 4 and out for Argentina, as this entire first quarter seems to be one of offensive struggle and defensive, well, presence. LaRock. It's going to get obliterated at the 34 this time. Only 32 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Another interesting fact is neither side making it to the other's red zone. Carbone, he's going to lose the ball. But Acevedo is going to be there to pick it up before anything bad happens. Brazil still has possession. And that will be the end of the first, of course. It's been back and forth, and neither side really relenting. But then again, neither side really pursuing either. Interesting to see. Carbone. Phone notification. Gets a decent run. It'll be 3rd and 3. Hands out to Carbone again. Tackled in the backfield by Sosa. And he'll ensure there's no gain once again. And Rodrigo. Another deep punt. Paez not going to get too far. He's going to be stopped at the 15. So taking a look back at the first quarter, not much really happened if you missed out. Both sides have been struggling offensively, and both sides have been just there defensively, and that's all that's really needed so far. Not too many first downs to really take note of, and both quarterbacks really struggling to find the touch early. Torres tries to sneak by, and he's not going to get much. It'll be 3rd and 7 for Argentina. We got a flag on the play. Carrizo gets his first run. And it will be against Brazil. Campos. He's going to give Argentina some extra insurance, and that 3rd and 7 turns into a 3rd and 2. Torres, he's definitely going to get the first down this time. And hopefully, the Argentines can get something working here. Torres, not going to get far. Actually, it's no gain. Lima's going to stop him. Vasquez goes to the side, finds Grimaldi. And he's going to get a gain of 4 with that reception. But now Argentina finding themselves in another peculiar position. Torres shakes one tackle, and he's going to get stopped. Alvarez, deep punt. And LaRock's going to get stopped at the 19. So far, it's very concerning to see both offenses really struggle to get anything going so far. Carbone only going to get a return, or a rush of 2. Carbone tries to sneak by, and he's going to get stopped by Munoz. It'll be 3rd and 8 for Brazil. And Alves makes the reception. Hopefully Brazil can get something running here. Cuadrado. And they'll be back-to-back first downs for Brazil. Maybe they have something rolling here. Carbone again. And he's going to get a gain of 6. Again, looks like Brazil's actually getting something working around. They hand it off to Carbone, can't sneak by. As Munoz is going to make sure there's no gain, forcing a 3rd and 4. Cuadrado drops back again. He's going to go deep, finds Sequeira. And it'll be a touchdown for Brazil. They actually managed to get something on the board before the end of the first half. And Vasconcelos, to make it 7, he does. And a bit of quick intuition by Cuadrado finds Sequeira to get to the end zone. And now Argentina finds themselves down 7-0 early on in the first half. Well, later on in the first half. So now it's time for Argentina to respond if they can. And Vasquez is going to drop back. He's going to go deep. And he can't find a receiver. You shouldn't try to force those passes, though. Of course, yes, they may be down, but there's still 2 more quarters of football that has yet to be played. Torres dropped in the backfield by Lima. And Brazil's going to be forced to use the timeout. They might want to do damage. Vasquez is going to go deep. And he finds Hernandez. That's a big reception indeed, but he had some open space. I guess he got caught up in between 2 other DBs, and well, he's going to get taken down. And that is going to take us into the 2-minute warning. Argentina threatening Brazil. Can they get something here? They hand it off to Torres. And he's only going to get a gain of 3 on that rush. Vasquez. I think that was Dominguez? Either way, Argentina now within Brazil's red zone. I think the offenses are now picking up the pace. Vasquez, quick throw, going to go through the receiver's hands. 2nd and 10. Argentina needs to find that end zone before the end of the second quarter, though. Another quick throw by Vasquez. Not going to work. It'll be 3rd and 10. Vasquez doesn't see anything, and Argentina is going to have to bring out the kicking team. Not the result they wanted, of course, but again, can't force those passes. And Brandenburg, he's going to get that one to go. Argentina has now cut the deficit to 4. And Sakara's only going to get to the 23 this time. Quadrado drops back, finds Sakara again. Quadrado. This time, Goncalves. Brazil forced to use another timeout. And Quadrado sheds the tackle, but he can't find anyone to really find. It'll be a 3rd and 3 situation for Brazil. Quick throw. Finds Sakara. And Brazil's out of timeouts. Looks like they really are trying to do damage before the start of the second half. Unsure if Argentina's going to get possession to start. To the corner to Goncalves. He's got open space and he's got the touchdown. And just like that, Brazil manages to answer back a field goal with a touchdown in response. Vasconcelos is going to miss it wide, though. And pardon me for the lagging. I guess the game's video is not in its best right now. Vasquez finds Hernandez. And Argentina is going to use a timeout. 2nd and inch situation. 18 seconds. I think they realize they got to get in that end zone. Vasquez goes to the corner, finds Keenan. And Argentina is still going to use a timeout even though he caught it out of bounds. Vasquez is going to go deep. Finds Grimaldi. And Argentina uses their last timeout as now they have 5 seconds. And they're going to go for the field goal. Brandenburg is not going to get that one. He had just the right amount of distance, but I don't think he was able to hook it just enough. And with 1 second to go, Brazil's going to have the last play of the first half. Quadrado short pass to Carbone, and that should do it. So a very lackluster first quarter turns into a bit of an uptick in the offense, both offenses, in the second quarter. But Brazil, they're head and shoulders in front as they got 2 touchdowns with 1 PAT missed and the other one made. So far, Argentina, I think they now realize that they really have to get into that end zone now. Sakara. He's got himself a touchdown, and we got a Madden glitch of a tackle there. Brazil going to get no more than a touchback in terms of a return. Quadrado almost intercepted. It's going to be dropped. Quadrado's going to go deep. Can he get a receiver? And it's going to be intercepted by Zito. Well, that's big for Argentina. Of course, they probably would have liked that to be much closer to Brazil's end zone, but still, you got to take what you can get. Keenan, along the sidelines, is going to get the first down. As it looks like Brazil is going to force the first interception of today's game. Vasquez looking towards the side again. Wide receiver can't pick that one up. It'll be 2nd and 10. And of course, he had a slow start, but I think he's trying to find his groove here. Pressure mounting as he just barely gets rid of that one in time. Although not looking like a good situation for Argentina as they haven't gotten anywhere in the last 2 downs. It'll be an empty backfield essentially. As Vasquez he's going to go up the middle. Titan can't get his hands on that one, and Argentina is going to be held to the 37 for that drive. And the Rockets a decent return to the 27 for Brazil as they take over. And they managed to snag 2 touchdowns last quarter. Hopefully they can build upon that lead. Cuadrado goes to the side, finds Samoas. Only going to get 2 yards on that reception. Of course, he also had the slow start, but now he's picking up yards. Cuadrado to the side again, this time Goncalves. And it'll be a 3rd and 1 situation for Brazil. Argentina's defense seeming to struggle here. I think they got used too much to the pace of the first quarter. Although this time they're going to make up for it as Sanchez is going to stop Carbone in the backfield. And Brazil is going to be forced to another 4-and-out. Pais. He's only going to get to the 25. Vasquez hands it off to Torres, and he's only going to get 5 on that run. At the distance, you got to take everything you can. Torres hasn't had great receiving yardage, but in terms of rushing yardage, he's trying to make up for it, as he'll get pushed just over the first down line, and it'll be a 1st down for Argentina. They're going to give it to Torres again. He's not going to get super far, though. Only gained a 2. Argentina has to do something here. They can't afford to just keep running the ball, though. Torres, not going to get anywhere. He's going to lose yards this time as Lima comes up with another TFL. Empty backfield for Argentina. Flag on the play. Goes to the side. Finds Keenan. And it looks like it will be a flag against Brazil. And Argentina gets saved by the bell. But they're going to decline it and go for the punt. Interesting strategy. Well, either I read that entirely wrong or Argentina really didn't care. Cuadrado goes to the side, finds Carbone. He gets the 1st down. And Argentina's defensive back, the one who got the big interception earlier, he's going to be out, and he might not return to this game. Cuadrado to the side, finds Samoas, and back-to-back 1st downs for Brazil. Carbone's not going to get anywhere with that run, essentially only a yard. And I think one begins to question if Argentina has any gas left in the tank, as they look like they have been defeated before the game has really ended. And a defensive lineman's going to go down for Argentina. And Argentina dropping like flies at this point. Cuadrado finds Samoas. He has open room. And he's finally going to get stopped at the 23. Brazil in dangerous territory, as they've been taking it to this Argentine side for pretty much most of the game. Well, most of the 2nd quarter and now the 3rd quarter. To anyone watching, bear with me. I'm still trying. Carbone on the run. He's going to force a 3rd and 3 situation with that. And Brazil, they're in good position. Even if they don't get the touchdown, the chip shot will be worth enough. Cuadrado going to go to the corner with no one there. And the kicking team's going to come out. And Vasconcelos, from about 19, 20 yards, 33 yards, my bad. He'll drain that one. Interesting, my metric system is up. And Hernandez is going to get stopped at the 30. Torres stopped in the backfield again by Lima. Defensively for Brazil, he's been pretty much a driving force, if not probably the main force in their TFLs. Flag on the play as Carrizo is going to get another run, and Mendez, he's going to get booked for Brazil. Vasquez goes to the corner. Receiver can't get to that one. Torres stopped in the backfield. This time, Amaral gets his first TFL. And that'll be the end of the third quarter as Brazil still with the commanding lead over Argentina. This Argentine side hasn't really showed up most of the game. And with 1 quarter left to play, it's going to be interesting to see if they can fight their way back out of this. Rock. He's going to get to the 26. And you got to hand it to Brazil, despite the slow start. They've managed to make the best of what they've been given. As Carbone, he's had a few good runs. But most essentially, I think Cuadrado's adaptability, or his adaptation to Argentina's defense, has probably helped him out the most. As he has loads of time, he's going to go deep this time. And Costa manages to get the snag as Brazil just narrowly within Argentina's red zone here. Carbone. It'll be 2nd and 5, and looks like Bauman, defensive lineman that got injured earlier, he's going to return for Argentina. So I guess it was too soon to write him off. And Brazil going to get hit with another penalty. False start on Acevedo. So far, they've been getting the penalty stick the entire time, but even so, I don't think that's deterred them from scoring at all. Carbone tries to sneak by, but he's going to get wrapped up. Only a 2-yard gain on that rush. Cuadrado looking for the end zone. Finds Samoes. And Brazil just looks untouchable right now, as they're going to add insult to injury to put themselves up by 20. Vasconcelos is going to doink it off the post. So far, he's gone 1 for 3 on PATs, but of course, it doesn't really matter as Brazil still with the commanding lead, 22 to 3. Hernandez only going to get to the 31. Decent field position, but Argentina still have yet to make anything with what they've been given. Only the 1 chip shot. Torres tries to sneak by, gets a gain of 4 on that run. If anything, Brazil definitely came to play, albeit later in the game. Giroud gets another TFL. And Argentina, they've been struggling so far. But it's a learning experience. Empty backfield for Argentina. Vasquez up the middle. Can't find a receiver on the cross. And they're going to be forced to punt. Another deep punt by Alvarez. LaRock he's got some space. And he's going to get to the 35. Pretty good return for Brazil. Of course, they're going to need that. They want to inflict some more damage. Another flag. And it's going to be against Brazil. Paiva gets hit with the false start. So Brazil going to be hit with a 1st and 15 to begin this drive. Of course, they still have quite the insurmountable lead. I don't think Argentina sees their way back out of this one. Carbone only gets a rush of 2 yards on that one. Interesting how he managed to fix his receiving yardage. And now it's even more than his... Oh, Oh, I think we had Malcolm take that one. But his receiving yardage now even more than his rushing yardage. And Malcolm with his first carry, he's going to manage to sneak by. Force a 3rd and 8. Quadrado up the middle again. And I think he was looking for Samoa's again, but that's not going to work. It'll be 4th and 8 for Brazil. And Argentina is going to get back possession. With only 4:30 left to go in the game, Sim added, realistically, I think the game's pretty much over. Of course, if Argentina can manage to turn it around in the amount of time they have left, that would be something. But Brazil would also have to simultaneously shoot themselves in the foot. Torres tries to sneak by, but he's going to get stopped. It'll be a 3rd and 9 situation as Argentina, they were really struggling with 3rd downs earlier in the game, and I don't think it's really changed that much even later in the game. Torres, he actually manages to change it. He'll get the 1st down. Of course, they're still down by 19. Vasquez finds Dominguez. I think he was one of the key players that had a big reception earlier. I forgot to mention him. And Vasquez instantly pressured, but he's going to get rid of it just in time. And Argentina really is just playing for consolation here. Hopefully they can get a touchdown, but looks like this game's definitely said and done. Vasquez finds Torres up the sidelines, and he's going to run it out of bounds. Argentina at Brazil's 34. Vasquez over to Keenan. He's going to wisely run it out of bounds as well. 2nd and 6. Keenan again. We'll make it a 3rd and 3 on that reception. But Argentina really needs to they need to get in the end zone. Quick throw finds Hernandez, and he'll get in the end zone. As Argentina, of course, it may look like it's still over, but at least they get in the end zone. Hernandez with the touchdown, and Brandenburg to add the PAT will make it 22-10. It's another deep kick. Sakara on the return, and he's going to get to about the 15. It's going to get obliterated in the process, but that does not matter now, does it? Quadrado has pressure. Gets it off, and it's going to come off his receiver's helmet. Brazil really does not need to do much here, but they can still inflict damage if they really wanted to. Quadrado, despite the really slow start, managing to still salvage 300 plus yards is honestly something you got to take notice of. And then as for Argentina, oh, we got the 2-minute warning. As for Argentina, I think they're going to have to look back at this game, realize what they did wrong, and try to adjust. As of course, many other GFAs have been in existence longer than both of these sides have. Of course, this is actually both teams playing their first match, their first recorded match. So I think it's a learning experience for both sides. As Pais gets the return, he's only going to take 2 steps. And Argentina, despite the very short return, still some decent field position, and maybe they have another touchdown in them. Vasquez has pressure, and the wide receiver not looking, possibly Keenan on that one, but he's not gonna be anywhere near that ball as it's gonna be tossed up and thrown away. Vasquez has time up the middle, and nothing doing. 3rd and 10. I think part of Argentina's problems here as well is trying to force certain passes that they just don't need. Vasquez. And pass is going to be dropped. I'm sure he needed that one. Got a 4th and 10 situation, and of course they're going to have to go for it. Because why not? Vasquez finds Dominguez. And Argentina, they struggled on 3rd downs this entire game, but they'll get a 4th down conversion just cause. Vasquez to the corner, finds Keenan. He's not going to get super far, and Argentina is going to burn a timeout here. Looks like they really are going to try to get on the board at least one more time before the game ends. Vasquez to the corner, finds Keenan again, and Argentina going to burn another timeout. 1:23 left in the game. Vasquez managing to salvage at least 200 yards. That's something. Up the middle, and it's going to be dropped. 4th and 3. And they got to go for it. Pressure, and Vasquez is going to get dropped by Mendez. And that should seal the deal for Brazil, as they really just don't need to do much here. Carbone on the run. Argentina now with no timeouts. And this game should be Brazil's for the taking. Again, just going to go over a quick recap. Not much happened in the first quarter. Second quarter, we got a spark. And Brazil, they managed to fire 2 rounds into the end zone. Third quarter, not much, as both sides still caught in a bit of a stalemate. And then in the fourth quarter, a little bit more action. Brazil now trying to waste their, and then now they're gonna try to waste time. Both sides going to provide a little bit more action, as both sides will find the end zone. Argentina gonna get some consolation for their earlier mistakes. But it's definitely a too little too late situation, as Brazil doesn't even need the punt. So this should be it. And this is going to be the end of the game. Brazil's going to walk away with the win here, 22-10. This is the NK Hub signing out. Oh, they actually punted. I'm dead. And Paz is going to get not much on that return. Well, that has been tonight's game. If you enjoyed, leave a like or not. I don't know. Completely up to you. And yep, again, this has been the NK Hub 2022 signing out. And have a great night.